everyone. Welcome. It's Wednesday and we are back. Yes, we are back and it is so good to be back. We took a couple weeks off, which is uncharacteristic. Normally we do every stream as scheduled every week, but we had a lot of stuff going on. And I am so glad to be back with you all. So thanks for putting for the live stream. And tonight we're talking about how, believe it or not, there are some thoughts out there that we are going to see a housing boom. Yes, that's right. I know it's been a lot of like doom and gloom, and people feel like, oh, the economy is going to crash, real estate market's going to crash, and tonight we're talking about how that just doesn't look like it's going to happen, or at least one outfit doesn't think that it's going to happen. So we'll be talking about that for our main event, which will be happening later. We also have a really cool house that we're going to take a look at on Zillow. It is the let's just say it's very interesting. You're definitely going to want to take a look at it. And then after that, if time permits, we are going to be talking about how the inability of young people to afford housing could create a big problem in the future. So we're kind of looking at this dichotomy of, are we going to see a housing boom, or that will continue to make it, difficult for people to buy housing? Or are we going to see the opposite? And what does that mean for young people trying to buy homes? And if there is a housing boom and it continues to be difficult for young people to buy homes, how will that affect things? So we have a lot of stuff to cover. And as always, thank you for giving me some of your very valuable time. My name is Joe. Thanks for hanging out on the stream. And as always, if you like the content, if you're enjoying the stream, if you see the value that I'm providing, right down here, there's a little thumbs up icon. Go ahead and hit that. That's the like button. It'll help push the stream out to some more people and get more people exposed to the content. Additionally, obviously, you guys know the drill. We meet every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And we always talk about the latest and greatest stuff in real estate. But the best part about live stream, I could just make a pre-recorded video about this stuff and I could put it up there and get, a couple hundred, several thousands of views. But the best part about live streaming is being able to interact directly with you guys, the audience, the chat in real time. So if anybody out there has any questions about real estate, maybe you're thinking about buying, maybe you're thinking about selling, and you are sick of asking ChatGPT or Google, and you actually want to talk to a real live professional human being, now is a great opportunity. And don't worry, there's no obligation, because I don't know who you are, so I can't rope you into buying a house over my live stream. So if you are hungry for some information and you just need some advice or have some questions, whether it's about the housing market or a particular property, this is a great time to put them into chat and be happy to do the best I can. And like I said, the best part about live streaming is interacting with you guys, the viewers and the audience. So if anybody out there has any questions about real estate and they don't want to ask a robot, I'm real. I'm here. Hi, hello, my name's Joe, and I'm happy to help. So let's get into it. Let's kick things off. Let's get things going. And oh man, I'm just so glad to be back streaming. Like I said, it's been about a 2-week absence. And for those that regularly watch me know that is unlike me. That is very uncharacteristic. And we had some stuff go on. My wife and I, our home here in Claremont, California, was on the Claremont Heritage Home Tour, which is a local nonprofit group that preserves the history of our town here. And every year they put on a home tour as a fundraiser. And luckily, thankfully, mine and my wife's home was selected to be on the home tour. So we have spent the last about 6 weeks doing a lot of work around the house to get ready for the home tour. That took place a couple of weeks ago, and it was a huge success. And then last week I was feeling a little under the weather. So that's why I've been gone for a couple of weeks, but we're back now. We're back, and we're better and stronger than ever. We have some new equipment. We got a new camera. So hopefully you guys can see how crystal clear I look, although I think YouTube probably squashes the quality a little bit. And we've got a spiffy new microphone set up. So I'm like a real podcaster now. So, but if at any time you guys are having problems, technicalities, can't see something, can't hear something, pop it into chat and we'll get that fixed up. All right, guys. So let's get into it. The first thing we are going to take a look at is one of the craziest homes I've seen on Zillow. I'm just going to flash this up on the screen, and I'm going to let you guys figure out why it's so unique. All right. So there we have it. I'm just going to make the first photo a little bit larger for you guys. I mean, what's going on here, right? I saw this default photo and I was like, what the heck am I looking at? I wasn't sure what I'm looking at until I read into it. Now, this is one photo. I want to show you a different. I mean, this house is crazy. This house is wild. This is what I want to show you, though. There's a lot of things I want to show you. Where's the here. So this is the actual house, right? So you think like, oh, okay, just a garden variety house. But then what the heck is this? That also looks like the exterior of a house. Well, guys, believe it or not, this is a bunker house. So what you're seeing in this photo right now is all underground. This is a completely underground, not the bunker. The whole property isn't located underground, but it has an underground pool and waterfall and living quarters. And this home, believe it or not, in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it was built to withstand any type of nuclear bombs. So you'll see as they go through, this is actually all underground. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just a couple more photos. Then we'll read the description so you guys can kind of get a sense of what the heck's going on here. And we'll go from there. So it was built to mimic the exterior. So like if you guys have been to like the Venetian in Las Vegas, where you're like, wow, the sky looks like it's outdoors and stuff like that. That's basically what they did here. And you can see that this is the entryway. There's an elevator and there is also a staircase. And this is all underground right now. All of this is underground, and it was made to simulate being above ground. So in the event that there was a major nuclear conflict and you had to be in a bunker for weeks, months, or years, it seemed relatively uninterrupted. You could kind of enjoy your day-to-day life. Now, obviously, the one thing you'll notice, and the reason this is so kind of awkward is, well, there's no natural light. So let's go back to the listing real quick, and let's just get you guys up to speed on this 5-bed, 6-bath, almost 17,000 square foot home in Las Vegas. One of America's most extraordinary residences, the underground house. Concealed 26 feet below ground, this 14,620 square foot subterranean estate was built in the 1970s by businessman Jerry Henderson and architect Jay Swayze as the world's largest automatat, a Cold War era luxury bunker designed for self-sufficient living, featuring a total of 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and over 2 homes, 1 above ground and 1 below ground, an indoor pool, putting green, theater, dance floor, bar, saunas, and programmable faux sky. It recreates the feeling of being above ground while offering total privacy and security. Hand-painted landscape murals, sculpted trees, and retro 1970s design details create an immersive time capsule setting unlike any other. This is a rare investment opportunity, ideal as private residence, event venue, museum, luxury rental, or cultural landmark. A true piece of Las Vegas history and a chance to own a property that is equal parts residence, attraction, and legend. One of the most interesting things down here is like the amount of views and saves this home has had just in 54 days. Obviously, there's a lot of people probably doing what I'm doing and what we're doing right now, which is just kind of window shopping this crazy, crazy, crazy property. It's just very, very interesting that someone came up with it. Now, I would think that there would be like a larger write-up because there is just so much going on here. But now as you guys kind of get it, we're going to go through, and it really does scream 70s. This looks like, even the door detail, the foliage down here. My first thought is like, how do you even do like an inspection on this? Like, it's a bunker, it's underground. Like, it's crazy to me. So here is this is the underground house. So this is not the residence, it's above ground. And you can see like they got the bar, they got of course it's Vegas, right? You got to have the table games. Living room, formal living room here. It really does look a lot like a home that you'd see anywhere else. It's crazy, it's funky, it's very, very 70s. But man, they literally took a house and built it underground. a pretty wild kitchen. I mean, it is all in amazing condition, but yikes. I mean, it's really going to take someone, and keep in mind, this is $8.5 million, guys. So it's not just like a house that everyone's going to buy. It's not going to appeal to everyone, even just based on pricing alone. And then when you throw in the aesthetics of this, and then also the fact that one of the houses is like underground, it's very, very unique. You know, they always say like, oh, this is a rare opportunity to like own a piece of cultural history or landmark or event venue, but it's going to be difficult to find something that can put this to good use. Now, it is in Las Vegas, and of all the areas to have a quirky house like this, to have a themed house, Las Vegas is probably one of the best destinations. So maybe like a luxury rental probably is the best use for it. But check this out. They even put, you know, the window over the sink. It looks like there's an actual window there, and they've painted this landscape. Very clearly, you know, it's not giving off any light. So it's not as good as looking out a window, but hey, at least it's something. They did the same thing over here. So they got the full kitchen, large kitchen. Wow. And what I would assume is a formal dining room included with wallpaper on the ceiling. And whatever this like fabric is, this is crazy. This is wild. All for $8.5 million. Now, this looks a little bit better. Like this almost does look like it's outside. It was obviously recreated to look that way. But man, this is crazy. But imagine, I mean, if this was your place and like, you know, stuff hit the fan and you needed to seek shelter underground, this would be a great place to do it. I mean, it really does have all the comforts and amenities of home above ground. This looks like the primary suite. Again, it looks very much like any other dated home that you would find elsewhere. I mean, I just can't believe that someone built all this underground. I mean, 26 feet below. What was the engineering like? Like, I need like a Modern Marvels. I need a documentary. Netflix needs to do something on this because I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, you just dig a big hole, build this, and then fill it in on top of that. Like, how does this work? If there's anybody in chat who's like an engineer, a contractor, anybody who's got any ideas on how this was maybe have been possible, I would love to know, because my little brain can't even comprehend how this was even pulled off. It's got a very interesting look to it, but again, it's all here. I mean, even down to like the pink toilet. It's pretty amazing. I mean, amazing is one word for it. Another bedroom here, which, you know, looks like it could be a primary as well. So like dual primaries. I mean, it's even decorated in the form of the 70s. This is crazy. Oh, this is a family friendly stream. Can't be showing that stuff on the stream. That's art, right? Another large bedroom with private access to the exterior. I mean, it does have vaulted ceilings, which is really nice. I mean, you know, it's got some cool features. Check out this barbecue. Like, I mean, the guy that had this built, they said it, you know, it was a businessman by the name of Henderson. I don't know if that's like the same Henderson of like Henderson, Nevada. I don't know if there's any overlap there, but clearly whoever had this built, like, money was not like, I don't want to say money was no object, because that would imply that like I knew, but very clearly they were not concerned with a budget, and the budget was huge because, I mean, I don't even know. This is like some custom sculpted barbecue that's supposed to look like a rock or a boulder. I'm not really sure. Oh my gosh. This is just like, it's pretty crazy. And this is still all the underground. This isn't even like the main above ground residence. And of course, you got the pool and the spa, which is pretty nice. I always wonder, like, though, like, what does it like smell like in there? I feel like whenever you go to a place, it's got like indoor pool, like it always smells like chemical and chlorine. It's always kind of like damp and, you know, in there. Like, I wonder what this is like. Interesting. They even have like stars in the roof. I mean, it's really, really interesting. Wow. I would love to know how this was built, why it was built. There's your dance floor with the disco ball. I mean, it was built in the 70s. So think about the parties that took place down here. Pretty epic. It's even got this huge indoor fountain. And all of this is carpet that's like mimicked to look like grass, but like, oh my gosh, like all that carpet to like clean. And man, What an interesting decision. And now we've actually made it to the surface. We've made it out of the caves and into the light. And here we are. I mean, on the exterior, it's a pretty unassuming home. It, kind of looks like your normal kind of desert style house. Obviously, there's a little bit of weirdness here with this like really large, I'm assuming the house is under this area because I can see, I don't know if you guys, this picture's, I can't make this picture any bigger, unfortunately. Let me do this. Open in a new tab. Let's make it bigger. That's a little bit bigger. Oh, here we go. This is slightly bigger. You guys can see that like obviously there's like some type of venting thing happening here. So I'm sure that the actual underground house is like under this area. I don't know if you guys can't see. Oh, because I'm not sure. Here we go. Let's do this instead. There we go. Now you can see. So you can kind of see like there's like a vent thing right here. So I'm sure that the house portion, this underground house, is like all under this gravel. And my guess is this is like the water shut off for it, water meter, gas maybe, and some type of like ventilation. But that's probably, where it's at. So let's go back to here. So we finally made it above the surface. And so it actually kind of mimics the house that's above ground. Very open, very spacious, vaulted ceilings. This one's a little bit more updated than the underground house, but still not super, super mega updated. Really small kitchen. Oh my gosh. Like a terribly small kitchen for the size of the property. Decently updated. And then bingo, there you have it. Goes to the fallout shelter, which is crazy. Hey, Leslie, thanks for hanging out in the stream. Pflugerville, Texas. I have not heard of Pflugerville, Texas, but I'm glad you're tuning in from there. How in the world would you ever maintain that house? Yeah, I feel like this is a great example of like you need to hire your own grounds crew just to like maintain this house. And then also too, I think about like what goes into like maintaining a house that's underground. Like you can't access the outside of it. I mean, there's no roof to worry about, I guess. And I guess you don't really need to worry about the foundation either. And there's no windows, so you don't have to worry about windows to take care of. I'm sure there's obviously HVAC, and there has to be some type of like increased, like buffed up, like ventilation system, right? Because after all, like this house is underground, and I would imagine that you would need some type of special system to like move air and ventilate so the air doesn't get stale. And I wonder too, if there's any issues with like humidity or moisture, but yeah, gosh, how would you ever maintain this house? It's a great point, Leslie. And then like, how much does that cost? This is an $8.5 million home. How much are you spending a month maintaining the underground pool? That's crazy. Hey, MH, how's it going, buddy? How far is Pflugerville from Muleshoe? I don't know. What does that mean? Oh, the Austin metro area. Okay, cool. Cool. Excellent. I have not been to Austin, Texas. It's one of the places that I want to go. I've got a lot of friends and colleagues out in the Dallas, Fort Worth area now. But I hear great things about Austin. And Leslie, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the rest of the stream. Stick around and let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks for chatting. So crazy house. Oh, okay, cool. We got the floor plan. I love when they do the floor plan. This is good. So let me do this instead. We're gonna open this in a new tab, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna share this tab where it's a little bit bigger. So it looks like, my guess is this is where the elevator kind of dumps you out, and yeah, it's just a giant square, so you can kind of see. So we have living room here. Yeah, living room. Family room. Okay, so this is kind of the big great room concept into the kitchen. This was that like formal dining room area that opens up. I mean, so the floor plan's pretty good. This room's a little weird with like this secluded like billiard room. That's kind of weird. But then bedroom, bathroom, bedroom, bathroom. It looks like, yeah. So all in all, pretty nice. And then, it looks like there's like another little detached, oh man, there's like a guest house. There's like a pool house for the underground house. That's crazy. That is wild. That is wild. I've never seen anything like this before. And the more conventional schematic, the layout with the measurements, which is always nice. Just a different perspective. Yep. And it's funny because like they didn't do any of this for the main house. Like the main house is just like an afterthought. They were like, forget the main house. Nobody wants the main house. Everybody's going to want the bunker house, which is pretty cool. So guys, if you are interested, let's go back to the listing. There it is. 5-bed, 6-bath, almost 17,000 square feet of livable square footage. So maybe you really need that compound. Maybe you're looking for the ultimate in you need to be close to all the amenities of a big city, but you don't want to be noticed, heard of, or found. Maybe this is the option for you. If you have any fugitives in your family, maybe you buy this and then stick them down there in the underground pool house and they can lay low, literally and figuratively, for the rest of time. So there you go. 3970 Spencer Street in Las Vegas, Nevada. A truly one-of-a-kind residence. Wow. The underground home. And let's just do one thing really quick before we get out of here. Let's, I want to see the street view just because let's just see where it is. Let's just see where it is in the strip. Yeah, it's big. It is a huge home. My guess is that they're including the entire, and I'll tell you why or why. Let me go back to all these. My guess is that they're including, where's the floor plan? Yeah. My guess is that they're including this entire area as livable square footage because this whole thing is climate controlled. And obviously, if they're including a square footage, it's been permitted with the city, which this would be a hard thing to just like build and not permit because somebody would find out. So my guess is normally, obviously we would just, do this, right? And this would be livable square footage. But in this sense, all of this is livable square footage because this is basically all inside. So does it give the estimated property taxes? It does not. But what we can do is it will give you the old taxes, like what it currently they're paying, but that doesn't really help us because it was at a much different rate. Let's see, price change is removed for sales sold. So it sold for 1.15 in 2014. So it'd be off of that. So it looks like their current taxes are at 10,521, but that is not on 8.5 million. And I'm not exactly sure how Nevada does their property taxes. If we have any Nevada residents in the house, and you let me know how property taxes work there. Like here in California, if this home was in California, it's a very, very easy, it's a simple rule of thumb. In California, it's about $1,000 for every $1 million. So $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month for every million. So this home, if it was in California, could very easily be reaching $8,000 a month in property taxes. But that's California. This is Nevada. So I'm not exactly sure how Nevada works, but property taxes are going to be expensive. Right now, you're already looking at about $10,000 a year. But again, that was off of the last sale price of 1.15. Now, this is really crazy. I would love to like see this old listing because this is an interesting little run here. We're getting a little tangent, but I think this is kind of interesting. The home sold in 2005, so the height of the market before a big real estate crash, for $2 million. In 2012, at the bottom of the market, it sold for just $600,000. Then in 2014, just 2 years later, it sold for $1,150,000. Then just 5 years later, it was listed for $18 million. Then it was changed to $5.9 million. Then it was removed, put back on at 5.9, put back, listing removed, put back on at 5.9, listing removed, and now back on at 8.5. Very, very just kind of interesting history. Very, very strange. Yeah, they're saying for property taxes, $3,300 a month as an estimate based on this. But again, this is just an estimate on Zillow. They don't always know what the taxes are. But here's a quick breakdown. Almost $47,000 a month if you put 1.7 million down. So is that in your price range, Leslie? I'm sure that it is, right? I'm sure you're considering buying this crazy, crazy home. Gosh. Oh boy, that's going to be expensive. All right, guys. Well, I came across that. I stumbled across the underground house in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I just felt like we had to take a look at it. Oh yeah, that's right. One thing I wanted to do is I wanted to look at, I messed up. Is it going to come back to us? Yeah. I want to take a look at the street view just because I want to see where it is in relation to the Las Vegas Strip, because everybody knows where the Strip is. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So it looks like, is this, where am I, Las Vegas? Oh, okay. Yeah. This is the Strip. This is the fountains. It's Bellagio. Okay. So, oh, and it's right here. So it's not very far away. It's pretty close to the Strip, close to all the Las Vegas good stuff. So, I mean, it could make a decent luxury rental because you're just kind of down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6, 7, 8 large blocks. But yeah, pretty wild. So just 8 blocks from the Strip. Kind of cool. Interesting. Oh, and you're not far from, what is this? Probably like Lake Mead, I would imagine. So you're close to that as well. So anyways, guys, like I said, super interesting. Good luck selling that one. might be a hard one. Yeah, pocket change, right? It's just 8.5 mil. And if you can't afford it, just, split it with a friend. I'm sure you got some friends that, all want to go in together on a luxury compound. I'll take it as a second home. MH, let's start doing the paperwork. I'm not licensed in Nevada, but for a home like this, I'll get my license in Nevada, and we'll make it happen for you. We'll make it happen for you. All righty, guys, let us move on. So to our kind of featured article. Oh, there we go. For a second, my article didn't come up, and I was like, oh God. This comes from The Hill. A real estate boom is coming. Are you ready? Yeah, guys, you're hearing it here first. Now, we've talked a lot about in the past. We've talked about, obviously, the market, the fluctuations, and what people think are going to happen. And it's one of those things where for a long time, we've been hearing a lot of doom and gloom about the market. And I understand why. Whenever things kind of get strange or weird or unpredictable or uncharacteristic, it's pretty normal for people to go, oh my gosh, something bad is going to happen. Typically, like humans, like when we don't understand something, we kind of freak out, right? That's kind of the default. And a lot of people don't understand housing right now. And they haven't understood housing for the last like 5 years because it's kind of gotten a little bit different. So that's why in the last about 2 to 4 years, there's been this huge uprising in what I call crash bros. And the crash bros are the ones that are constantly telling you every single day that the sky is falling in real estate. You are about to experience the biggest crash ever, and there's nothing you can do, and you better get ready for it because it's all going to get wiped out. And now what we're seeing is potentially stories of the opposite, but we'll get to that in just a second. Hey, Cackleberry, my friend, welcome back. I hope your trip was good. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure, as always, Prescott was beautiful. So I hope I'm assuming you drove probably. It's a pretty easy drive. It's only 4.5 hours for you, probably, maybe 5 if you stop. So hopefully your drive was smooth, and welcome back. Welcome back. All right, guys. So let's get into this one. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you have a little bit easier time reading things and you can follow along. Let's get this out of the way. All the ads out of the way. Look at all this ad. Look at all this visual clutter. Oh my gosh. I guess that's why it's free, huh? Oh, you're still here. You're still impressed. Oh, you're still there. Well, wonderful. Enjoy your stay. And hopefully you continue to get good weather. And like I said, I'm looking forward to being up there. I think we're going to go there for New Year's. I think we're going for New Year's. Got to see the boot drop at Whiskey Row. We went for the first time last year or 2 years ago, and it was really cold. It was like 30 degrees, but it was super fun. Had a lot of fun. All righty. Times are not great for either the residential or the commercial real estate and construction industries. Thanks to chronic underbuilding, increased construction costs, labor shortages, and high interest rates, house prices are at all-time highs. And we've talked about all this stuff before, guys. To make matters worse, builders are slowing down, and elevated financing costs, as well as economic uncertainties, are keeping new projects and residential sales at bay. But will this last forever? No. And when things do turn around, I predict a boom like any other. And this is from Gene Marks. He is an opinion contributor and this came out yesterday. So this is an opinion of one person, guys. So when we talk about a real estate boom is coming, again, this is the article I found. I'm not necessarily agreeing or disagreeing. I just think that this is very, very interesting. And so we want to talk about it. And so this person is predicting a boom unlike any other. So let's see what they think about this. The real estate industry, according to the National Association of Realtors and National Association of Home Builders, makes up anywhere from 14 to 18% of our country's GDP. And we know this housing is very, very important to the United States economy, just overall as a whole. This means the coming boom will have an enormous impact on the U.S. economy. Sellers, builders, contractors, lawyers, accountants, brokers, insurers, retailers, and countless other small and mid-sized businesses that are both directly and indirectly connected to this industry will benefit. And that right there is why real estate and the real estate industry as a whole make up, 14 to 18% of our country's GDP. I've actually heard estimates even up into the 20% range, because it's not just about buying and selling. And, it's like, oh, well, when you buy a house, you're going to use a real estate agent, you're going to use an escrow officer, you're going to use title, and you're going to stimulate the economy by doing this and by utilizing those services. But also too, you have to hire movers. Okay. That's going to stimulate the economy. You're probably going to do some improvements or painting, whether or not you hire a painter to paint. Bingo. That's increasing the money flow through the economy. Or if you do it yourself, you still have to buy the paint from Lowe's or Home Depot or your local paint shop. So that's going to increase it. And then also too, maybe you need a designer to help you design what you want to do the home. So that's going to create something. And then, you need new bedding. So you're going to go to some, local shop. Ideally, hopefully you're going to go to a local shop, or you're going to go to Amazon or whatever, and you're going to buy all that stuff. And yes, you can't forget appliances, right? Like, what's one of the first things you do when you buy a house? Typically, a lot of times you might get a new washer, dryer, TVs, furniture. Absolutely. MH, great point. So that is why housing really is the one of the main wheels that keeps the cycle of our economy going. It's not just to get real estate people paid. That is not the benefit. The benefit is that it really creates a chain reaction of money funneling through the economy, and also local governments in the form of taxes as well. So that is why it is so important to the United States, to the United States GDP, to have a fairly healthy and robust housing market. So what needs to happen? First, mortgage rates will have to fall, probably below 5.5%. Yes, there are still many people holding 2% mortgages. I wouldn't say many people holding 2%. A lot of people hold sub 4%, and there still is, a measurable amount of people that hold that are holding 2% mortgages, but not an insane amount. There's probably a larger amount of people that don't have a mortgage at all, and those are the people that are really pretty much home free. No pun intended. And they would probably grimace at the idea of getting new mortgages at today's rates. But it's not as many people as you think. According to the Federal Housing Financing Agency, about 22% of outstanding U.S. mortgages carry rates below 3%, whereas approximately 14.3% of outstanding mortgages have rates at or above 6%. That means that almost 2/3 of mortgage holders have rates between 3 and 6%. They are the ones poised to come into the market when rates come down. And this is true. This is evidenced. I was one of those people. I had a 3% interest rate at my first house. And in 2022, my wife and I got an opportunity to buy an amazing property, the one that I'm sitting in today, the one that was on the home tour. It was difficult giving up 3% and going to 5.25%. So I went from 3% to 5.25%. So I took a 2.25% increase on my interest rate. But at the time, my wife and I, we still calculate all the numbers. We felt we could afford it. We have been able to afford it. And we continue to be able to afford it, which is, thankful, knock on wood. But there are people out there that are willing to basically say, hey, listen, we don't want to give up our 2.5% rate. And we aren't excited about 6%, but we really, really want a new house. We need a bigger house. And these people that are in that 3 and 4% range, 3, 4, 5% range, those are the ones that are going to go, hey, I have a 4% rate. It's pretty good, but I've already outgrown this house. It's too small. I have a ton of equity because I bought it in 2022 or 2023 or whatever. And, value's gone up and now I want to move on. Those are the people that are going to be most um, likely to move forward. All right, Leslie, let's see what we got. It is very much a ripple effect. Yes, you're absolutely right, Leslie. That is why I get frustrated when some folks say they wish for a housing crash. It would be devastating and some buyers would get laid off from their jobs. Leslie, you have hit the nail on the head. And this is a point that I was going to address. It's interesting. And you make a great point because it is a ripple effect. And people don't realize this is a really, really excellent point, Leslie. People don't realize that when people wish for like a housing crash, what they don't understand is that that's not going to benefit them. And I'll tell you why. The people that are waiting for a housing crash typically probably aren't the people that just have a boatload of cash on the sideline that are just ready and willing to go as soon as there is a quote unquote crash. What's going to happen is if there's a large real estate crash, people are going to swoop in with more money and more cash than whatever end consumers have. And the rich will get richer. The mega landlords and the mega property owners will only get larger. Corporations will have an absolute field day and they will buy up everything. And also banks are not really incentivized to do these mass foreclosures as they once were. They're more likely to work with people because a mass influx of homes doesn't benefit the bank because then it drives down the price of their own asset. But these people that are wishing for a housing crash need to realize that if the housing market crashes, chances are, like you said, Leslie, they're probably going to lose a job, or loved ones are going to lose a job, or friends are going to lose a job. Rooting for a housing crash is like rooting against yourself and your friends to get wealthy. I understand why people think they want a housing crash. People think they want a housing crash because they think, oh, look, then I can go buy a house. But if there is a serious economic downturn that leads to a housing crash, guess what? That's going to be red alarm for the economy. I mean, look what happened in 2008, right? When there was a major housing crash. Look back to the Depression when there was a major housing crash. The housing prices weren't the only thing that went in the toilet. It was also employment. Unemployment went sky high. People weren't working. So these people that just think, oh, I need a housing crash and then I can buy a house or two, it's not going to work out that way. And rooting for a housing crash is basically like rooting against the average American. And again, I understand why people want or think they want housing to crash because they think, oh, the door will open for me and I will be able to then afford a home. But like I said, for some people that might be the case. If you're sitting on $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 of cash, maybe, but that's going out on a limb saying, oh, well, when there's a housing crash, I'm going to be set up to go. We'll see about that. MH, it's a different story when you're at retirement age. Don't want another mortgage, but high prices keep me stuck. Yeah. Obviously, it's a little bit different at different stages of your life. Nobody wants to take on the mortgage and the high prices. Yeah. I mean, really, MH, for someone in your position, your only option is to, look at a much lower cost of living area, which is what a lot of people do in my neck of the woods when people retire here in Southern California. They retire and just had this happen to some people in Ontario, which is a suburb. Well, it's not really an LA suburb. Technically it is, but it's about 40 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, and sold their house. And they said, we're retiring to New Mexico because we can just make our money go way further there, like way, way further. And so a lot of people are, doing that. But then it forces you to relocate, and not everybody wants to leave, where they're at and where they're familiar with. So yeah, definitely a different story if you're a little bit older at a different chapter in life. All right, let's get back to this. All right. For these buyers, it will no longer be a big additional cost to buy a new home once current mortgage rates fall below 5.5%. Now, this author keeps just assuming that interest rates are going to get down to 5.5% or below. I don't necessarily see evidence of that right now. I think we're going to be, you can, if you're a well-qualified buyer, you can get rates at 5.8, 5.9 right now, but you're probably going to be paying a point or some type of discount. portion of point or a point. So that's already happening. But the general idea of, oh, rates are going to go back down to 5.5 for a 30-year fixed with no points, and if you do pay points, you could get 5.2 or or 5.0. I wouldn't just assume that that's going to happen. And we don't know what rates are going to do. In fact, some financial analysts have said, oh, we see rates hovering around 6% through 2028, which I suppose is a possibility. We can't really think about the long game like that. Can't really think about long term because there's too much stuff that could happen. Already at today's 6.2, wait, what happened? My thing just jumped around because all these stupid ads. Where'd it go? What happened? All these stupid pop-ups. There we go. Already at today's 6.2% rate on a 30-year mortgage, they can already save about $200 per month on a $550,000 house compared to the beginning of this year at its 7% rate. Yep. And $200 a month is, nothing to scoff at. The trend is heading in the right direction. If inflation expectations are curtailed and bond market yields, which drive mortgage rates, decline a bit more, we could see that happening in the next 12 months. We'll see. Inflation is extremely sticky, and we'll see if we get any help there. Bond market yields are extremely important. That is the whole driver of mortgage rates. On the commercial side, thanks to the Fed's recent rate cut, prime rates are now at 7.25%. Another percentage point drop could bring many buyers off the sidelines, which is true. We do know, studies have shown that when interest rates get below 6.0, when we get to 5.9, for some reason, that buyers are okay with that. Anything with a 5 in front and below, which still historically is a great rate. I mean, anything under 6% is a great rate. Anything under 8% actually is fairly low, historically speaking. But the American consumer has been a little bit sidetracked by the recent very, very low rates that we've had, because we've been dealing with 4 and 5% interest rates since the Great Recession in 2008. And then obviously we all know what happened during the pandemic when it went down to pretty much 3%. Recent legislation giving significant tax deductions for buying and building new manufacturing facilities will also be a big help. As I've written previously, tariffs are starting to drive more manufacturers back to the US, a trend that will take some years to develop, but will also create more demand for commercial property. So yeah, on the commercial side of things, that will help, but that's nothing that's going to help immediately. I mean, that's a ways off. And it's going to take probably a better part of a decade for any type of manufacturing to really get up and running and make a noticeable difference in the lives of everyday people. Stock prices will also have to hold or increase. U.S. markets remain near all-time highs, and because of that, household wealth remains high as well. The stock market is significantly intertwined with the U.S. economy and drives wealth, confidence, and purchasing power. A drop in values would be a significant setback for the real estate industry. And we'll see about that. I mean, the stock market has performed insanely well over the last about 5 years, but even into 8 and 9 years, it's done pretty well. And we'll see. I mean, one wonders, how can the stock market continue to set record highs pretty much constantly? So we'll see about that. Although core economic metrics, GDP, jobs, capital availability, remain relatively good, there's a growing threat of a bubble caused by a potential collapse in crypto, or whether or not the AI boom is for real. Assuming these events don't happen, which no one can yet predict, a continued strong stock market and bond market will give more assurance to both potential and existing homeowners to increase their activity in the market once interest rates decline. We talked about these things for a minute. Collapse in crypto, I don't see that happening. I'm not, I have crypto. I wouldn't say I'm like a crypto guy. I'm not one of these like crypto fanatics or anything. But when I start to see like major federal governments, say, oh, we want to buy cryptocurrency as a strategic reserve, when we start seeing major financial institutions investing in crypto to diversify their own portfolios, when we start seeing ETFs that have crypto as part of the portfolio makeup, that's a pretty good sign that it's going to be here to last and stay. Now, I don't know if there's going to be any collapse. Anything could happen, but I don't see crypto, having, going down 50%, 40%, because if there were to be a major economic disaster, people will turn to cryptocurrency because it's portable. You could take it anywhere. You could spend it on a lot of different things now, pretty much anything you want. It's untrackable. It's untraceable. The government never knows. So if there was a problem, a major financial issue with financial markets, whether that's just in the United States or internationally, people aren't going to go back to gold. They're going to go to crypto. Gold will still hold value, of course, as well, but people are going to go to crypto. The AI boom is a good one. I think people are starting to realize that AI is very, very powerful, but as we become more familiar with it and we use it a little bit more, it's interesting to see where it falls short. But the thing with AI is that it changes so quickly, and we can make huge advances in a very short amount of time. I was listening to a person who's big in the AI space talk on a podcast, and he was talking about how 6 months ago we thought that doing this one thing in AI, whatever it was they were trying to accomplish, was extremely hard, if not impossible. And he goes, and now 6 months in the future, we can do it easily. That's how much things change very quickly, which is pretty normal when it comes to technology, right? Like technology compounds very quickly, but also we've now had, AI present for the last 2 to 3 years. And for the most part, yeah, things have changed a little bit, but it's not like our everyday way of life has changed. I mean, instead of going to Google to ask, hey, something this, you go to ChatGPT now, and it more or less, it's just searching Google anyway. It's still searching the internet just as Google did. It's just giving you the results in a different form. So we'll see if there is any pullback on the AI boom, which could create a problem because there's a lot of money invested. Look at NVIDIA, look at Intel, all these chip makers and Oracle and stuff like that. So AI is a fraud. MH, I challenge you in one concise sentence, sum up why you think AI is a fraud. And this isn't a gotcha. I'm just curious to know why you think that. All right, Leslie, what do you got? I agree, Joe, with your comments about the rates. Historically, the rates now are very reasonable. The price of house, down payment, and taxes, insurance play a major role in what you can afford. Yep, absolutely, Leslie. Absolutely. All right. Okay. So assuming these things events don't happen, which no one can yet predict, a continued strong stock and bond market will give more assurance to both potential and existing homeowners to increase their activity in the market once interest rates decline. Third, income levels must keep rising faster than inflation. Payroll company ADP has reported that the U.S. economy lost 32,000 jobs last month. And now you might be wondering why the payroll company ADP is reporting this. Normally that comes from a federal outfit, but remember, our federal government's still shut down because we have a bunch of children in our federal government that can't seem to get along or play nicely. Oops, I said that out loud. So that's why ADP is reporting. With the Bureau of Labor Statistics on hiatus due to the shutdown, the ADP number was widely reported as, and deservingly so, not great news for the economy. But ADP also reported, and remember, this is actual data from their payroll system covering millions of workers, that over the last month, wage gains among job stayers was 4.5%, and among job leavers, 6.6%. So that means that obviously those wage gains are doing pretty good. MH, okay, here we go. Artificial intelligence is an oxymoron and it's way overbought. I don't disagree with you. AI does do some amazing things, but we'll see. We'll see. There's just so much that could change, but I agree with you. And I think one of the unintended side effects of the AI push, I think, will be that humans naturally want to be social, and they want to interact, and they want human connection. That's why people like going out. Why do you think bars and clubs are so popular? You could drink liquor at home for a fraction of the cost, but people want to go out, hang out, be in an atmosphere, be in an environment. I mean, why do you think that there are so many people that go to live sporting events, all these things, right? So I think that one of the unintended backlashes of the AI push will be that more people seek out actual people. And I've already heard that. I've seen that in my industry alone. Take real estate, for example, right? You know, when the internet came around, people were like, oh, real estate agents are dead. People are just going to find the home online and take care of themselves. Then Zillow came out and they were like, oh man, Zillow's going to take care of everything. Real estate agents, you're screwed. They're going to market the home. They're going to help get a loan. They're going to do everything. No. Then of course, you know, AI comes out. Oh God, you know, realtors are really screwed. And they said that about a lot of industries. I continue to get a lot of clients that are like, Joe, we appreciate having a person who we can ask questions to that can gives us reliable answers based on experiences they've had. We appreciate someone that can identify with the feelings that we're feeling, the nerves that we have, the apprehension that we have, the confusion that we have. And guess what? Machines can't do any of those things. At least not yet, which is kind of the scary part. All right, let's continue marching through, guys. Inflation is currently running at about 2.9%. So wages seem to be staying well above price increases. Many younger earners have chosen to stay out of the housing market, instead pay rent, which makes economic sense in these high interest rate times. But with income staying so far above inflation and rates decreasing in the future, I can see many moving from being renters to ownership in the next few years. Fourth, should we take this survey, chat? What do we think? Let's take the survey. What do you think? How likely do you think there is a U.S. will experience a major real estate boom in the next few years? What do we think, chat? So first person to answer is probably going to be either Leslie or MH. What's your answer? What is your answer? Do we think that it's going to be very likely, somewhat likely, not likely at all, or other no opinion? I'll give you fine folks a minute to digest this question. And then we're going to fill out the survey and we're going to see. Somewhat likely. Okay. MH said weak. Leslie's new here. MH, you're a regular. I love you for being a regular too. Don't get me wrong. Leslie's new here. Let's go with Leslie's take. Okay. So somewhat likely. Go next. How often do you read content from the Hill? They're just gathering other information. Let's make them feel good a few times a month. Which is one best describes your company organization? I'm a small business. None of this really matters. To what age group do you belong? Again, they're just trying to target. All right. We'll put mine. I'm in my bracket. And we'll do mine for this. Okay, great. See results. Not likely. Okay, so somewhat likely 18%. Very likely 11%. 66% think that it is not at all likely that there will be a real estate boom in the US. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not surprised because the average person is just beat down so much in the media about how housing is in such a bad spot, which, by the way, it's so funny because, you know, Redfin talks about how, oh God, there's 500,000 more sellers than buyers. And all these articles, you know, coming from these real estate outfits are like, oh my gosh, housing is so sluggish and so slow. Guess what? The price appreciation average this year has been 3% in the nation. So, which is like right on track for being normal. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun survey. Okay, let's keep it moving. So fourth, boomers will keep passing on the wealth. This is true. The number of people ages 65 and older is projected to more than double by 2040, reaching about 78.3 million and a total of 88.8 million in 2060. A recent report in Fortune summarizes the financial impact. America stands at the edge of the most dramatic shift in personal finance ever measured. A generational transfer of nearly $124 trillion in assets over just 25 years. According to a wealth transfer report from Boston wealth management firm Cerulli Associates, published in June 2025, a combination of demographic and economic forces will see a record amount of wealth move from baby boomers and older Americans to heirs, widows, and charities by 2048. Now, if you notice how long we're talking about over 25 years, by 2060, by 2040, all these things. That's exactly why there's not going to be a silver tsunami. I did a live stream on that many moons ago now at this point. One of the early thoughts was that, we're going to have this silver tsunami. Baby boomers are going to age. They're going to sell their homes. And because baby boomers own so many homes that when they all sell their homes, there's going to be a flood of inventory and it's going to crash the market, which is so ridiculously false. That would require baby boomers to all get together and coordinate and okay, baby boomers, we're all going to get together. We're all going to get our houses ready to sell. And then on June 15th, 2027, we're all going to put our homes on the market at the same time everywhere. Okay, everybody get the plan? That's what would lead to maybe pricing being impacted. But the fact of the matter is that all of these homes are going to transfer at different times. They're going to sell at different times in different places all across the United States. Some of these homes might get passed on to children, and children might elect to live in them because they've been unable to afford a home. Some homes, might get sold. Some homes might get rented out. Some homes might get donated to charities, schools, things like that. So the idea that there's going to be this, silver tsunami because baby boomers are just going to give up everything overnight, that's just categorically false. Yeah, who told me? I don't know. I'm in. I got sources deep on the inside. MH. I'm aware of the plan of the boomers. I'm aware. I got an inside man. So somehow I found out. A recent report we talked about that, charity by 2048. Now that federal estate tax exemptions have been permanently secured at high levels, with gift tax exemptions rising, a growing number of boomers and Gen Xers are putting money into trusts and other vehicles to begin passing down this wealth to the next generation. And as these people pass on, yes, I'm one of them, even more wealth will pass down from them. This transfer of wealth will play a significant role toward helping the younger generations buy homes. Yeah, that's a great point. They'll be dealt with. They'll just be dealt with. And that's what I tried to express to some people that took the silver tsunami route. They were just like, well, what's going to happen? How's this going to work? And she said, just like every day this happens. Every day people pass away. Every day real estate agents are contacted. Hey, mom passed, got to sell the house. Dad passed, got to sell the house. Whatever the case may be, and they're just dealt with. In my own family, a uncle of my wife, parents passed away. Great home they left, and he moved in, right? Because at that time he needed a house. And remember, if you, at least in California, if you inherit a home and it was your parents' home, and that home transfers to either a child or grandchild, so this could be your parents or your grandparents, you can keep their taxes. You can keep their tax basis on the house, which means that if you did inherit your boomer parent home, you could reap the rewards of not only not having to buy a home, but also whatever they pay in taxes, which would be a huge, huge benefit, right? So they'll be dealt with just like all other times. Where are we all going to go? Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, obviously some boomers are going to go to, retirement facilities, end of life care, those types of places. I think a lot of them will potentially downsize. A lot of boomers have large homes, 3, 4, 5 bedroom homes, 1 and 2 stories. And I could see that maybe they say, you know what, I'm not dead yet, but I finally need to downsize and I'm getting rid of the home and I'm cashing out and I'm going to go buy a little condo, or I might just rent an apartment, or whatever the case may be. But either way, they'll find some place to go. And if they don't find a place to go, eventually they'll go to the great beyond where we all go. And then the house will really be available. Everything is a cycle. For the last few years, the real estate industry has been moving downward, but that will inevitably change. And when that change happens, this industry will see a boom unlike any boom it has seen before. When will this happen? Nobody knows. But soon, assuming the factors continue on their trend. So if you're running a business or related to this industry, hold firm, build cash, prepare for growth. Gene Marks is the founder of the Marks Group, a small business consulting firm. So just kind of an interesting opinion on what might happen with the future of real estate. I do have one more article, but guys, we're coming up on an hour, and I think we'll save this one for next time. We're going to be talking about how if young people don't buy homes, what effect could that potentially have, right? What effect could that have? All right. Before we get out of here, we got to do one more thing. All right, guys, you know how this works. If you're looking for a phenomenal real estate agent, let's start rolling the music. For a great real estate agent, don't just go to Google and punch in real estate agents near me. That's a great way to get hooked up with a bad real estate agent. Instead, you want to get hooked up with a good real estate agent. You want to get hooked up with a high quality, what we call 20% real estate agent. Out there in the real estate world, there's a rule. About 80% of real estate agents, not very good. 20% of real estate agents are actually working at a high level. And what you want is you want a 20% real estate agent. And I'm sure that you don't have time to interview a bunch of agents, vet them out, try to find the best person that knows your area. But guess what? I've already done that for you. I have a huge network of realtors all over the United States that I've worked with, and going all the way from Massachusetts all the way to Washington and Portland, Oregon, and everywhere in between. So if you are thinking about buying or selling and you need a referral for a great real estate agent who's going to do a great job, you can go to workwithjoerealtor.com. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. Boom, there it is. There it is. And you can go head to that URL right now, take a look at it. You can click on any one of these buttons and you'll get taken to a questionnaire where it'll ask you some questions. You tell me about what you're looking for, and then I can find a great real estate agent for you. And if you're local in the Southern California, Orange County, Inland Empire region, in that area, good news. You can work directly with me. So you can go to the website, fill out the questionnaire, and we can get you connected with a great real estate agent anywhere in the country and possibly all over the globe. All right, guys, we're getting ready to get out of here. But before I get out of here, right down here, there's the like button, the thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up button, especially if you enjoyed the content. Really, really helps me out, gets the stream to more people. Doesn't cost a dime. It's totally free. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Barstow. Oh yeah, I got people everywhere, MH. You need someone in Barstow, you let me know. We can make it happen. Barstow can be a tricky area because it's an interesting market. You really need somebody that knows that area. It's a very specific market. So if you do need somebody out there, let me know. Hey, Robert, missed the stream, but I'll check the replay. Give it a thumbs up. Hey, always appreciate you, Robert. Thanks for hanging out. Don't worry. I'm very forgiving. I'm not going to hold it against you that you missed the stream. And guess what? You always have next week to catch it. So you have another opportunity in 1 week from now. Leslie, everyone, it was fun to chat tonight. Take care. Leslie, thanks so much for hanging out. Please do consider subscribing, hit that like button, and hopefully we'll see you next week right back here in the stream. Thanks so much for chatting. Appreciate you. Guys, thank you very much for giving me some of your very, very valuable time on this Wednesday evening. I know that there's a lot of ways that you can spend your time out there, and it really does mean a lot to me that you're giving me some of your very valuable time. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. The reason I enjoy streaming is talking to all you guys in chat. Even if it's just 3, 4, 5 of you guys, I really do appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for me. So thank you very much for giving me some of your very valuable time. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 6:30 p.m. right here on the Joe Porreca Real Estate YouTube channel. Hope to see you all then. As always, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And it's a crazy world out there, guys. So try to be nice. Do something nice for someone, hold the door open, let someone into traffic, and try to have a good week, guys. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.